Well, what did I get myself into now? So, started pulling apart my O3 harness stuff here. So that's my PCM connector. These go to the engine itself. I pulled open all the split loom and taping. This is my two sensor wires we already talked about, running those. This is my ABS wire for the right front ABS sensor. Don't know if I haven't actually verified to see if it even works, but I'd rather keep it for now. And then these are AC wires, which will need to get their own custom circuit built because the original 4.6 PCM handled the AC compressor operation. So I got to build a short little harness for that, basically just add a relay, and shouldn't be a big deal there, but I want to make sure that everything's set up correctly. And I'm going to finish going through this, make sure there's nothing else I need to save out of this, and then all that'll be removed and gone. So that'll probably be a couple pounds of weight savings, which will be nice. Every little bit helps, and hopefully didn't open up a huge can of worms of time here, but we'll see. I'll keep y'all updated. My course of action here is I'm going to trace back the harness into here and figure out how much of this I can depin. That'd be a preferred method, so I'm probably going to disassemble a fuse box, and probably going to have to disassemble the bulkhead connectors on this side. But we'll get there in a minute and figure out what all we need to do. Started depinning or unhousing, I should say. These are my bulkhead connectors that go in way back in there. So I can finish pulling out some of the PCM wiring that goes into the cabin. In a theoretical perfect world, I could actually cut the wires and use the existing wiring going through the cab for the new stuff I'm running. But I really don't like that as a long-term solution because of, in case I pull something out and I inadvertently miss something, then I'd like to be able to go back. So this gives me the opportunity to repin it if I had to. I'm gonna keep working on this and see how far I get today. Well, hit my first snag here. So depinning wires, obviously doing pretty good doing all that. And I got all my splice joints labeled. And still need to determine which ones of those are coming out. And I went to pull this black with pink chaser out, because that one goes to PCM, and I depinned it out of this connector and started pulling it, and all of a sudden it came with the splice joint with it. So looked up what that circuit goes to, and it goes to the reverse lamps and the tow relay for the reverse lamps. So I don't really want to give that up, because reverse lights are kind of important sometimes. But then I came over here and pulled up my diagram, and the reverse lamp's signal comes off of the transmission range sensor, which I no longer have because that was on the 4R70. So I'm left with a dilemma. Do I finish pulling the wiring out and just say to hell with reverse lights, I don't really need them anyways? Or do I leave some of the wiring in there and wire my own custom switch to run just reverse lights, which seems like a lot of work just to run reverse lights? So I think I'm probably going to just pull everything out and just say, oh well. Because I don't see the value in really running reverse lights in this case. I don't know. I feel free to comment, tell me what you think, but I think it's coming out. Well, I am due for another update. So this is the factory S155 splice, and it goes to a bunch of different engine control stuff. So what I did was I cut 2 wires off of it that went up to the fuse box, and all of this I can get rid of, and then the 2 that were in the fuse box go between a fuse and a relay. So I actually went fuse to all the way around to the splice joint and all the way back up to the fuse box, and that the relay it goes to up here is for the AC. So I want to keep that. So what I did is I made my own new S155 splice, and like I said, all this splice will go away, and then basically just soldered 2 wires together and then labeled it. So showing you kind of method of my madness here, and then this last one will get depinned out of the connector over there, and keep going through my wiring here. Finally did it. So that harness is completely disconnected from the vehicle. What I'm left with is a handful of wires here. I got 2 grounds I need to ground. This is ABS, AC coil, and then I think one of those is AC, and I don't remember what the other one is. But anyways, a handful of wires left over. So I can start putting the connectors back together, which includes putting all the various locks and housing connectors back in it, and take that dude mostly back up, and then start putting everything back in there. I did end up having to pull a coolant tank to get at the 2 connectors that live up there. So for the most part, basically done now. So well, done extracting, I should say. I'm not done, but I'm pretty happy with where I'm at with it. I've had enough fun for one day. We got mostly back together. Got the coolant tank back in. Got all my harnesses taped and loomed up and stuff in this area. Fuse box is just sitting there for the moment. I need to completely finalize the wiring in this area before I completely install that and put all the relays and fuses and stuff back in it. But really, really happy with how much I got done today. I know it doesn't seem like much is different in here, but as you can tell, I got this whole entire harness removed. So there's probably 2 or 3 pounds of wiring, maybe a little bit more of weight savings, and just clutter that's gone now. The harness running this direction, still need to finalize all this. This is going to be AC, dedicated AC harness, and the ABS connector for this side. So one of these is pressure sensor. I think I've got another pressure sensor I need to wire in somewhere in here. There it is. And need to wire in a relay for that too, but that's relatively minor compared to the big job that was on the other side of the car. So I'll probably end this video series here, and then I'll do some final touches in the next one. But like I said, really happy with how much I got done today, and stay tuned.